vibes. Today we're going to the Supercharger at Hawthorne West 120th Street. Let's get charged up.
Hey, they call me P.Y.T, and we are in Hawthorne, California at Target, where they have 16 Tesla Superchargers.
1 full star for chargers. There's 16 of them, rated at 250 kV. 1 full star for restrooms, 240 feet away inside Target. Most importantly, 1 full star for safety. The parking lot is well lit in the outdoor parking lot. And if you get hungry and want to grab a bite to eat, there's 1 full star for fast food as well. Wendy's is nearby across the street in the neighboring parking lot. You have Starbucks if you want to grab coffee and some sweet treats. And if you're shopping for home, there are groceries inside of Target as well. Okay, now the cool factor, guys, we give it a half a star. I mean, they have a home improvement store and you do have shopping, but there's nothing that I would say is like an awe factor for me. So I give it a half cool star. Now guys, if I had to rate the Hawthorne Target Supercharger stations, this place will get a 4.5 TSD rating. Okay, non-rated noteworthy mentions. This is your basic mega outdoor strip mall stop. Half a mile from the 105 freeway Crenshaw exit. Tesla, American engineering. And it's a supercharged car. You don't need any gasoline. Elon Musk, I think he came up with a great idea. Mother Nature has to love this. Yeah.
You know, something special.
It's a car that you can drive in style. And did you know that these are self-driving cars? Some of them. Very nice. That's dope. An American made. How could you not want it to be American made?
Hey man, you going too damn fast, man. Still ain't feel like a car, man. It feel like a... Let me get some driving action. This feel like some shit Wakanda.
And you don't have to worry about gasoline because you're charging. Yes, Tesla. Get one.
This is Blue Leader, and we're here with our special guest host.
They call me P.Y.T.
They call me P.Y.T. Now, help everybody understand what's in the name. They call me P.Y.T.
Well, the name came from friends. Everyone knew I was a Michael Jackson fan, and yeah, that's where the name came. They started to call me P.Y.T. and tease me about loving Michael, and the name just stuck.
So let's talk a little bit about Michael. How much of an influence was he in your musical career?
Oh, very much so. He's the one who made me realize how important the music industry business side is. So I'm all good on contracts and, you know, your royalties and everything, like your masters, you know, just make sure that you're on top of it. So my love for him goes more than just performer. It's really his mind. That's what I love the most. I learned a lot of business tips from him.
Okay, very good. So besides the business tips and the business aspect of the music industry, tell us about your music.
Well, I currently have a new album out right now. It's called Pearl Heart, produced by Jayhawk Productions. And as far as my music is concerned, it's going well. I got my first placement last year on HBO's Insecure. Shout out to Issa Rae. I have a placement on a new movie, independent film that's coming out called To Love a Younger Man. And I've been asked to write again. So I'm just going to continue to keep writing for movies and television, keep releasing my own music, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stop no time soon.
So, not everybody knows the music lingo. What is a placement?
Well, a placement is getting placed on a soundtrack, getting placed on a television show, basically the music soundtrack for a television show, for a film, and that's what they call a placement. Like you've been placed on a film or television.
Okay.
It can also be like mixtapes. It could also be like other artists' projects. But a placement is you being placed onto something in entertainment.
Now, let's get right down to it. Tell us about your music. How would you describe your music?
I think my music is fun. I think that my music is informative. Last year I released a mixtape right when the coronavirus pandemic hit and it was a lockdown. The project was called Quarantine Bay, and I touched on different aspects from relationships, people being in close company too much and what they're doing, to conspiracy theories, to factual information from the news. But my music, like I said, is fun, it's informative, it'll make you think, it'll make you dance, it'll make you happy, it'll make you sad. It just depends on your mood.
Okay, I got it. We're gonna pause for a second.
Okay.
Because your producer just got here. Over there, I'm gonna tell him don't interrupt us.
You funny.
No, okay, I'm not just gonna keep rolling here.
Okay.
Where's Ed Lee?
I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, you're doing
great.
fine.
Really good.
I want to talk about what's in your head more than what you're doing or how you're doing it, because I'll leave that stuff to Ed.
Okay.
And I need my glasses on. I can't see Jack. Where are you, Ed? Hey, just stay in your car. I'm interviewing her. This might take, I don't know how long, okay? Thank you. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, take two. So, I have heard stories about a bandit being a bandit and stealing and robbing. What is who's this bandit and who is stealing and robbing?
Okay, so the Pearl Heart EP was named after an outlaw, a bandit. Her name was Pearl Heart, but she did not grow up in I want to say she didn't grow up in that type of activity. It wasn't like her parents were outlaws or anything. The reason why that story touched me is because she robbed a stagecoach. She decided to rob a stagecoach because her mother was sick, and at that time she couldn't afford to pay for her mother's health. It was either do this and let her live, or don't do anything and she passes. So she decided to rob a stagecoach. She devised a plan and it was successful. And the reason why her name got known is because she's like one of the first known successful stagecoach robbers that was a woman. Like, you know, with Bonnie and Clyde, it was Bonnie and Clyde, not just Bonnie. So that really stuck out to me, because I know with my family, like I said, when the pandemic hit, a lot of things went crazy. A lot of people had a lot of uncertainty, and I put a lot of weight and pressure on myself to make sure my family was okay. So at times, like, I'm not stealing or anything, but at times I feel like a bandit, you know, out there going to go get it to make sure that me and my family are okay. So just got this by any means necessary attitude. Pearl Heart, you can Google her. She's on Google. But yeah, that's where the Outlaw and Bandit theme came from.
So let's just talk about the whole mystique about Pearl Heart and how that has influenced you as a person, and maybe even your music. because you talked about what you liked about her, but are you Pearl Hart? Is her spirit in you?
I think so. It's crazy that you say that, because ever since I literally looked up women outlaws. Like, before I picked her, I just looked up a whole lot of women outlaws, and her story really stuck out to me. And I think I've taken on that mindset, like her mindset. Like I said, like, you got to go get it for your family by any means necessary. And I think that I know that her story has influenced me in life in general, because from working on this project, ever since reading about her, I've had a different type of go get it attitude. You know, being a woman and being able to stand on my own 2 feet, I've had a different type of attitude. So I think I've taken on her persona in a little bit.
Okay, very good. A lot of people can relate to the outlaw or the necessity to be an outlaw.
Yes.
Are you relating to the outlaw of Pearl Hart out of necessity or out of desire, or both, or tell us about that outlaw aspect?
I would say both. I would say more necessity. I say 80% necessity, 20% just I think I'm interested in it. I'm intrigued by her being an outlaw. But it is necessity. You know, you have to have a by any means necessary attitude to take care of your family. And it's not just about stealing. Even people in corporate America, you know, they're not going to let somebody go up on them if that means that they have to take a pay cut, or if that means that it's going to take food out of their family's mouth. You know, they say with stock exchange, it's like it's Shark Tank, you know, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And I don't know, I guess it is a necessity. It's intriguing. I'm intrigued by her, but it's more so the necessity. I feel where she's coming from. I think we all do.
Okay, so we're gonna switch it up a bit. Tell us about yourself and your connection to LA, because what part of LA, first of all, did you grow up in?
Well, I grew up in Carson. That's considered LA County, but I grew up in the South Bay. I grew up in Palmdale. I lived in Long Beach for the younger part of my life. So LA County, period. I lived in Los Angeles, I want to say like 5 years. I currently live in Inglewood. What I love about LA is that we are entrepreneurs. Just like Pearl Hart, you know, we're go-getters. Some people probably have done things that others may not or not deem as, you know, right. But it's either look at your family suffer or go out there and go get it. So when it comes to LA, we really are go-getters, you know. A lot of us, we don't wait for people to give us a handout. You can travel down any street and you'll see people out there selling something, you know, trying to make ends meet. So being from LA, you can't be weak at all. Like, you gotta have heart. You do.
Yeah, you got to have heart and Pearl Hart. Okay, right? So
yes.
you said you were raised in LA County, Long Beach, Inglewood, Carson,
yeah.
all over Palmdale.
Yeah,
now,
Palmdale.
now, I got to ask you, which is your favorite part of LA?
I would have to say, of course, where I'm from, Carson. I love Carson. A lot of people call us bougie and stuck up because, I mean, in Carson, there are 2-parent homes, most of them. They own their homes, you know, so you don't come from a family so much that's, I guess, when you're from LA, sometimes, like, a lot of their stories are harder. I have a story, but if I'm on the bright side, growing up in Carson, you know, you seen homeowners, you seen people get up and go to work every day. You know, you got people coming out to cut your lawns, you know. I love Carson. I do. I love Carson. If I had to say anywhere in California, I have to pick my city.
Very good. Carson, yeah. California. Now, you mentioned that you love Carson, grew up in LA. What about the city of LA has inspired your music? And here's the only reason why I bring that up is because if we go back, because you are in the hip-hop world, correct? If we go back in anywhere in hip-hop, where the artist is from is reflected in their music, right?
Yes.
Now, it doesn't have to be that way, but
that's true.
It's just true. It's just the truth. So if you can let the people know, what about in LA reflects in your music?
My early music, I would say Carson was a big part of it. I started rapping, performing at 13. So, you can't talk about certain things. Everything was like fun and bubbly. But when I moved to LA, I think I was 17. That's when my music, I think, started to change. I wasn't putting it out like that at first. I didn't really start talking about that side until I probably was like 20, in my 20s or something like that. But LA made me realize how real life is. I saw people die in front of me. I saw people shot in front of me. Like I said, I got a story. When I lived in LA, it wasn't peaches and cream. I went hungry. I had to take care of children that were not mine. When you listen to my music now, you listen to my last project, and probably some of the music before that. My last project before Quarantine Bay was Meal Ticket, and I talk about my struggles. I have a mixtape. It's called # Bars Part 2. I talked a lot about my struggle on that mixtape. Growing up in LA, like I said, you can't be weak. It shaped me. It made me stronger. It made me have to stand on my 2 feet. I can't call granny. I can't call mama all the time. There are times where I have to get it for myself. So I would say that LA made me a woman. It made me grow up. And like I said, it made me realize that life is precious. It can be going very, very quickly. So it's like, while you here, make it count. So growing up in LA has shaped me into the woman I feel like that I am today.
So let's talk about the struggle just a little bit, because most people anywhere go through some kind of struggle, whether we can see it or not. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us some of the struggles that defined you, like the specific struggles that defined you as a woman and as an artist?
I would say one was my brother. He was murdered 2 years ago, and that made me not trust people due to the circumstances surrounding his death. That took a big blow to me. Everybody's not your friend, and everybody doesn't love you like they say they do. So that made me just really cautious. Another thing that happened, I would say, like I said, I was raising kids that weren't mine. I had a little sister, I had nieces. Both of my brothers had children, trying to make ends meet, trying to do what they needed to do. I didn't have kids, so I took on that role. And that made me, in a way, not want to have kids. But it made me realize that I was responsible. It made me realize that I was a caring and nurturing person, and that I can be a positive influence on someone's life. And it wasn't like a woe is me type thing. I put myself to the back, and I focused on these kids, and they're great. My sister has a bachelor's degree. My niece, she graduated from high school. She graduated from nursing school. I have 2 nieces who are currently in school. When Obama was president, they were on the Obama, it was some type of list, award that they were getting because they excelled in math and science, so yeah, that really showed me that you have to be a positive influence. Doesn't matter what's going on, you have to try to find some type of positivity, especially when you have people that count on you. And the last thing I would say that shaped me was, like I said, seeing things happen in front of me, seeing people shot, seeing people die, and it's just whoa, you gotta really appreciate your life, and you gotta make it count. Like I said, it could be going so fast, and I know that a lot of times we're focused on our success, and people may say, you gotta take a breather, but it's like, I could die today, and I want people to know that I gave my all. I want people to listen to my music. I want people to stream my music. I'm a person, yes, but the artist that I am, I fought my whole life to be that artist. And if I was to go right now, shoot, make me viral. Don't cry, don't sit up talking about Maya. Put it all on PYT.
Okay, cool. Is there anything that you want people to know about yourself that might not necessarily jump out in the music? Because we hear the music, we hear the nice beat, we hear the rhymes, but is there something that you'd want to reveal to the people watching this that maybe is a little bit below the surface about you as a person, as an artist?
I am, when I'm on records, when I'm in front of the camera, I have a confidence that I don't have off camera. I'll be honest about that. You do makeup, you dress nice and everything, and you're supposed to, I'm a bad this, or I don't feel that way about myself. As an artist, I do. Off camera, I guess you could say I'm a recluse. I keep to myself. I'm always studying music. I'm very quiet, very private. I'm a sensitive person. So that's totally different from PYT. PYT is in your face. PYT is confident. She has that attitude. But Maya, once I turn the microphone off and the camera's off, I'm just like, peace and calm and just nice and sweet. And I don't want people to hurt me. PYT is really like a wall. It stops there. Like, people know, okay, don't mess with her. But when those cameras come off, people don't know that I'm not out at parties, I'm not drinking, I'm not turning up. I'm at home studying music. I'm reading Forbes magazine. Seriously, I'm up reading ASCAP and what's new for writers and this, that, and the other. PYT is just in your face, but Maya, the real person, I'm 10 steps back.
Very good, very good. Of course, people wouldn't know that about you until now, obviously. So,
yeah.
Besides Michael Jackson, who has inspired you?
Tupac Shakur.
Why Tupac?
Because he said whatever he wanted to say, whether it was right or wrong, but a lot of what he said was right. It wasn't just shoot 'em up, bang bang. It was help your brother, help your sister. This is what's going on. These the laws that they making. He really made me just talk the truth. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. A lot of times, especially now, these artists, everything is pop, rock, sock, dot. You don't know what they talking about. But Tupac, he made me really listen to lyrics. He made me really pay attention to lyrics and the importance of lyrics. And you have to be informative. Even if it's a song that you're talking about shaking your butt, try to put at least 2-3 lines in there about politics. Try to put something in there about the economy, something that's gonna make them think. So yeah, that's where my love for Tupac came. He made me pay attention to lyrics and writing lyrics that are informative.
Very good. I was in Vegas. I was at the nightclub where Tupac was shot in the street in Vegas in '96. I won't forget that. Right in front of the Beach Club. So yeah, Pac. Who else has inspired you?
As a woman, I want to say Brandy and Janet Jackson. Brandy is from Carson. So of course, growing up, even in our elementary school is right in our community, so we had to hear about Brandy. Every time she accomplished something, it was told over the speaker at school, and for me, she wasn't light skinned. She didn't have fair skin. She didn't have the long curly hair. She was literally like a brown skinned girl who blew up. She had Barbie dolls. She was the first black Disney princess, Cinderella. She won Grammys. She was a cover girl. It's watching her, and she respected herself. She did. If she wanted to be sexy, you could tell it was on her terms. If she wanted to talk about certain things in her music, you can tell it was on her terms. And with her having her mother and her father there, that support system, that was beautiful to me. People say negative things about her, but I've never seen her wild out. I've never heard about anything really negative attached to her, like drugs, partying, alcohol, and all of that type of stuff. I feel like her career, she's respected herself. And I want to respect myself as a woman. Janet Jackson.
No, hold on. Before we move to Miss Jackson.
Okay.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Let's hang out with Brandy for a little bit. Did you used to watch Moesha?
Yes. I'm rushing home from school to watch Channel 13, UPN. Yes. I loved Moesha. That was a conversation piece every day at school.
Is there a favorite episode from Moesha that was your favorite episode?
I would say it's not my favorite, but the episode where she went on a college tour, and because of this episode, this has, I know, kept me from being a victim. But it was an episode where she went on a college tour and a guy slipped something in her drink and he gave it to her and she drank it and she was like out of it. Guy, of course, was going to rape her. It was a date rape pill, and it was a guy there that she was avoiding who she knew, and he saved her. And ever since watching that episode when I was little, it taught me not to trust people when I go out. Like, don't accept drinks from people you don't know. Don't smoke behind people you don't know. You know, you just never know. Don't be so trusting to go places with people when you're somewhere like in the dark rooms or whatever, because you don't know. So I want to say thank you to Brandy for doing that episode. That's something that wasn't taught to me in my household. Nobody told me not to accept drinks from strangers. And when I watched that episode, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be like Brandy. You know, I'm nope, can't do it. Right. I don't want to be like Moesha. I don't want to fall victim. So I would say thank you to her. That show taught me a lot growing up. It even sex, like, that was something that wasn't taught in my house. Like, so to watch her like be a virgin like for a long time, it made me feel like, I mean, it's okay. I'm not, you know, I've done my thing, but I'm just saying, like, it made me feel like as a teenager, the pressures of the world that most teenagers fall victim to, watching her show, it made me miss a lot of that. And I was in elementary and middle school watching her show. So I got to high school and it's like, okay, I already know, you know, Moesha taught me. So thank you, Brandy.
Thank you, Brandy, Moesha, for that awesome show on the UPN. Now let's talk about Miss Jackson.
Man, Janet is just that woman. Like, she owns her sexuality. Now, Brandy, like I said, that's somebody who her sexuality is on her own terms. I feel like the same with Janet. Janet just like, I'm here, this is me, like it or not, I don't care. You know, her album is #1 again after 35 years. Who do you know can have a #1 album from 1980 something? You know, Janet, I love her because she's in control. She owns that she's in control. You know, she gets on stage, she controls the stage. I read about her, like the business side, her contracts and things like that, and I'm blown away, because it's like, this is a woman I'm demanding that you pay me these millions of dollars. Like, her Virgin record deal, that was like the biggest known deal before Michael made the $1 billion deal with Sony, you know. And as a woman, like I said, she makes me want to be in control of my life, of my artistry, of anything that I'm a part of. Like, if I don't have control in it, or some type of control in it, I just can't do it. It has to be on my terms. So thank you, Janet, you know, for teaching us young girls out there that we don't have to follow nobody else's footsteps. We can make our own prints in the sand, and we can control our own destinies. So thank you.
Okay, now we talked about Michael, Janet, Brandy, Tupac, people you've looked up to in all kinds of capacities. How do you think people look up to you? And even push it, how do you want people to look up to you, even if that's a thing?
I want people to look up to me and find inspiration. Like I said, it's not easy doing this. I don't have a big label behind me, but I persevere. I keep going. I push the limits. The sky is not the limit to me. So I hope that when people see me out here working and they learn my story, that they're inspired to never give up, just to keep going, to focus on you and what you need to do. Like, you really got to have tunnel vision. I probably have missed out on relationships. I've never been in one. You know, I've probably missed out on having kids. I don't have any. But I'm focused. Like, I'm there, you know. And I hope that when people see me, they don't see a lack, you know, like, she don't have this, she don't have that. I want them to see, like, okay, at all times she's together. At all times, you know, she's making things happen. I can do it too. I want, especially young girls and women in general, I just want them to know, like, I mean, I know this is a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a woman or a girl, you know. Know your place. And I'm not saying know your place like you beneath nobody. Like, you make your place in life, make your position wherever it is that you want to be, whatever level, you go for it, and you don't stop. Once you get to that level, push for a higher level. Just because you're a woman don't mean that you got to play by anybody else's rules. Play by your own rules. Be in control of your own game. I hope that women are influenced by me, inspired by me to just keep going and to want to be the boss. Yeah, I'm not with being an employee all the time. Like, if it's your dream, it's something that you want to be successful in, be the boss of it. Learn the steps to be the employee, and then go further than that. So all my ladies out there, be a boss, be the queen that you are.
Okay, you know what, that is really important what you just said, because not a lot of people want to be the boss, the king, the queen, the top, but they're not willing to pay their dues and be the employee first. Now, can you talk just a little bit about that part? Because everybody wants to be on top, but not a lot of people are willing to go through the struggle. Talk about going through the struggle and that journey.
Okay, so if I'm speaking entertainment wise, because I do music, you have to do the groundwork, the footwork. If you see poles out here that's naked, you need to put posters on them. You don't have posters, go get some made. If you need to do studio, all the times you may not have money to pay for studio sessions, put that money into yourself and go buy studio equipment. You can watch YouTube videos. It'll teach you how to record yourself like a pro. If you feel like you want to perform, everybody's just not going, like, I've paid $1,000 at one point to perform for 15 people and perform my ass off. Perform my butt off. But if you want to perform, you got to pay for that. When it comes to entertainment, it's not something that happens overnight. If you want to be the Birdman, you got to do the Lil Wayne steps. If you want to be Jay-Z, you feel me, you got to be Memphis Bleak at one point in time. That was Rockefeller days, so if y'all don't know, Memphis Bleak was signed to Rockefeller. But yeah, like, you gotta start at the bottom. Like, you gotta be out here posting your own posters, passing out your own CDs, selling your own merchandise, booking your own studio time, or putting the money into your own studio. You're not gonna become Rick Ross. You're not gonna become Kendrick Lamar just like that. You gotta be willing to put that footwork down and go broke. You gotta go for broke. You gotta go for broke before you even see any money in entertainment. But once you start seeing the money, it's all worth it. But before you can be the head of the company, you do gotta, be the employee. You gotta do the footwork first. When these labels and these directors or whatever form of entertainment you're trying to get in, when they see you at the bottom and you're doing it for yourself, now it's like, okay, now we can, put something behind you, because we see you out here making money and making moves already. So once we put something behind you, it's like you have no choice but to go to the top and become a boss. But they have to see you at the ground level first. It's not saying that you got to stay at that level or, I'm at the bottom. Don't have that mentality that you're at the bottom. Always have a boss mentality, because even when you're at the bottom, aren't you the boss? Aren't you in control of all the footwork? So just keep applying pressure. Once you start at the bottom, start leveling up and going to the top, and people recognize, get your foot in that door. Once your foot in that door, boom, you're a boss.
All right, thank you so much for that interview. I'm honored to have you in my Tesla. Thank you so much for the t-shirt. Hold that one for me.
Yes.
There we go. The artist, They Call Me P.Y.T. What is your latest album out there on the internet?
Pearl Heart, as you see on the merchandise.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Deuces.
This is Blue Leader, and we're here in part 2 of our interview with They Call Me P.Y.T. We were wrapping up this interview. I opened up my computer, and on my wallpaper it had a bunch of DC superheroes, and They Call Me P.Y.T. is like, oh man, do you like Marvel? Do you like DC? So let's talk about your love, your admiration for comic books and comic characters.
Well, I like DC. I grew up more on DC characters. I liked all their cartoons. But then when Marvel movies started coming out, that conversation really started to grow as far as like who's better, DC or Marvel. I watched all the Marvel movies, but I like Justice League. I love DC, so I'm gonna have to go with DC.
Now, when you say Justice League, do you mean the Justice League movie, or do you mean something even further back than that?
The cartoon. The movie's cool, but the cartoon, you got Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Batman, Superman.
Yeah, you have to have Superman.
The list goes on, like, but those Green Lantern actually was my favorite from the Justice League, because he can make like objects and stuff with the ring, and he can boom beat you up. But Batman, that's my favorite DC character, favorite superhero, period.
Why Batman?
Because Batman is like super rich and super smart. He has Alfred, who is like his loyal trustee, but Batman doesn't have any superpowers. He uses his money and his intelligence to make like all of his weapons, even the suit. Like, he has no superpowers whatsoever, but he be like beating up all the villains. He's always saving the day, protecting humanity. So I'm gonna have to go with Batman.
Now, a lot of people who were kids, who are now adults, loved that Justice League cartoon. Were there any favorite episodes or something that pulled you into watching those cartoons?
It wasn't even a favorite episode. What I loved about, I don't know who created the Justice League cartoon, like the actual producer and writer at that time, but I know, like, you had the Justice League, you had the Batman show, Batman Beyond. Like, I like that they weren't so childish. They were kids shows, but they weren't so childish. It was like they were adults. Like, come on now, they are adult superheroes. And they had more attitude. Like, they talk crap on a commercial. Batman, he always had something catchy he was saying, or something disrespectful to where they wanted to kick him out all the time. But how can you kick out Batman?
You know, I'm looking up, I believe it was Tim Burnett who was in charge of the DC animated universe, all the way from the Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Justice League.
The Batman Animated Series, oh my god. I still watch that.
You still watch Batman the Animated Series?
Yeah.
What is better? What is a better viewing? Batman the Animated Series or the Justice League cartoon?
That's a hard one. I'm gonna have to say Batman Animated Series.
Why? The Justice League has all these heroes. Why Batman the Animated Series?
Because Batman, to me, had the best villains. The Joker, Two-Face, the Penguin, Bane, the Riddler, Catwoman. Batman had the best villains, so his fights to me were the best. And like, he just has this arrogance, this cockiness about him. Like, even though he's fighting people that have powers, or even though he's fighting these villains, he gets beat up a lot of times, but he does not stop. Like, he got this attitude like, I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna get you one of these days. So I'm gonna say Batman Animated Series. It had a lot of attitude.
Yeah, Batman, oh my god, he is the boss. He does take control when on paper, this guy is going to outmuscle him. This guy is going to outpower him. But like you said, he's gonna find a way.
All the time. He always poison Ivy. You know, she trying to kiss him, knowing that her lips, you know, causing paralysis and all type of stuff. Like, Batman is dope. And shout out to Tim Burton. Cause, oh my god, the Batman movies. Even with Michael Keaton, that was the first one that I saw, and oh, I was in love with Batman movies after that. You have Jack Nicholson, the Joker in the Batman movie, not the first Joker, but he was the Joker in the Batman movie. Even Adam West, like, I used to like the Batman and Robin show, kapow, you know, when they hit somebody, you see the word. Like, I like that too. Now,
there have been many Batmen. Who is your favorite Batman? What actor or what version of Batman is your favorite Batman?
I like Val Kilmer, and I liked.
Why do you like Val Kilmer?
I liked his Batman. I believe that was what Batman was that?
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. I liked his Batman because he was like, he didn't have attitude that much. When he was Batman, he handled business, but it seemed like he was more in his feelings. I liked the comical. I liked how the movie was comical. But I think that Batman was more in his feelings. Like, he was more in tune with the woman that he wanted. He was more in tune with Alfred. Like, it wasn't like he had a wall up. He was trying to let people in, and it kind of messed him up a little bit in the movie. And then the other one, George Clooney.
Now, a lot of people will say George Clooney was the worst Batman.
What?
Yeah, I mean, but what do you like about George Clooney? Because a lot of people didn't like that movie he was in, Batman and Robin.
With Mr. Freeze.
With Mr. Freeze.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold.
I liked it because of the comedy. I liked it because it looked very comic bookish. How could y'all not? Man, from the costumes to like Mr. Freeze whole everything, how could you not appreciate that? The Riddler, how could you not? Like, y'all tripping. Like, George Clooney, he was serious and he had attitude. He had a lot of attitude as Batman. I liked him as Batman.
I'm probably gonna rewatch Batman and Robin again.
Yeah.
From the comedy aspect rather than here is what I expect from a Batman. It has to be this.
I feel that because Batman is like, he kicks butt, you know, and any Batman movie you see, you want that. But that particular one, I liked how they introduced new villains. It was always the same villains that we knew about, but they didn't keep like the same villains from the last movie. That's what I do love about the Batman series. Right now it is kind of watered down with the Joker. Everything is Joker. I'm like, okay, where's Mr. Freeze? Where's the Riddler? You know, where's Bane? Where's the Penguin? I want to see some of them in some movies. But as far as Batman and Robin, the graffiti scene when they went to Gotham and they were fighting the little gang, I loved that part. That was my favorite part because I liked how it was like highlighted graffiti. It was nighttime, everything was glowing. I liked the cars in the George Clooney version. I liked the suit, like the armored suit. Like, how could you not? That one was very dope.
Okay, I mean, we could talk about Batman like
all day,
all night. The sun's about to go down in the beautiful city of Hawthorne, as you can see.
Yes.
Next to the Tesla Supercharger. But what else about comic books or superheroes do you like or admire? Because in the other interview we talked about performers and entertainers that you admire. But what about in the superhero world? Do you look up to or relate to?
I relate to having to save the day. I relate to having to put with them, they put the whole world on their shoulders, which is funny that they even say that because I don't see them fight nowhere outside of America. But you put the weight of the world on your shoulders and you have to persevere. As many times as superheroes get beat up, they never stop. You know, they don't just give up. They go recuperate, they bandage up their wounds, and they get right back out there, knowing that it's a strong possibility, you know, that they're going to get beat up again, that they'll be defeated again. But instead of being defeated, they end up beating the person up because it's just this willpower to overcome, to win. So that's what I really like from the comic book world. Is it's always an oppressor, and it's always a superhero that's coming to save the day, who's coming to save humanity. Another thing is, like with Marvel comic books, it was a lot of truth to it. Like, I read one of the Spider-Man comic books, and it was crazy. I can't remember the villain, the big man in the Spider-Man. He has like the big body with the small head.
The Kingpin?
Kingpin.
He wears a white suit.
Kingpin. Okay, so in one of the comic books I read, one of the kids brought to school, and Kingpin got raped in prison. I've never seen this in any Marvel movie. He got raped in prison, and I read, like, they had the whole shower scene and everything. These dudes ganged him up, but then he ended up coming back and killing every single one of them. Like, Marvel comic books, or any comic books in general, they're way more adult and expressive with the times that we're living in versus the movies. You know, the movies, they want to appeal to children, so there are certain things that they won't say. But when I read that Kingpin got gang raped in prison, I was like, oh wow, like, this real life.
This is did you see the Daredevil on Netflix show?
I've watched it a couple episodes, but I'm not too into it.
Because Vince D'Onofrio, he plays the Kingpin, the bald-headed big guy. Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I've never seen or read that issue. Should I? I mean, I'm scared to read.
Look at that.
No, I'm scared to read about the Kingpin getting
I couldn't believe
getting raped in prison.
Cause he's so big, you know. But like I said, they did that to him, and he didn't cry. It wasn't like he sat there. He literally was like, okay, y'all all gonna die tomorrow, you know. So yeah, the comic books, it tells a different side of the villains and the heroes versus what they choose to show us on screen.
Right. Okay, very good. So you're a comic book watcher, comic book movie watcher, but you also read the comics.
And there's a comic book store in the Carson Mall where I'm from. The South Bay Carson Mall just opened like last month, so you guys should go check it out. They have figurines, Black Panther figurines, Batman, any from Marvel to DC. They don't discriminate. They have the comic books still in the plastic and everything, so make sure you guys go to the Carson Mall and check out the comic book store.
Very cool. Thank you very much for talking about comic books and your love of comic book movies and all that sort of stuff. And tell everybody what your name is.
And they call me P.Y.T, hip-hop recording artist from Carson, California. Check me out.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being on Tesla Super Destinations.
Thanks for letting us supercharge your Tesla destination.
Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.